The night in Rome was eerily quiet, with the ancient city's cobblestone streets reflecting the dim glow of street lamps. Paul Getty III, grandson of the American oil tycoon J. Paul Getty, stepped out of his lavish penthouse, unaware of the impending danger. A fresh breeze tousled his hair, and he smiled as he strolled toward his favorite cafe, oblivious to the blacked-out van idling down the alley. Inside the van, a group of masked men watched him with steady, calculated eyes. Their leader, a cold and ruthless individual known only as Marco, signaled to the others. Paul was distracted by his phone when the van door swung open, and before he could react, a sharp pain seared through his neck. The world went black. Paul awoke in an unfamiliar, dimly lit room. His head throbbed and his body ached as he tried to move. The cold concrete floor beneath him sent a shiver through his spine. His hands were bound tightly behind his back. "Where am I?" Paul whispered to himself, panic rising. He had no idea where he was, only that he was no longer in Rome. His luxury lifestyle, the parties, the attention, all of it seemed so far away. His captors had left him alone, but his phone was nowhere in sight. The room was bare except for a single metal chair and a wooden table. The silence was deafening. Hours later, Paul's fears were realized. A phone rang in the corner of the room, an old-fashioned rotary that seemed oddly out of place. He struggled to his feet, wincing as he approached it. "Hello?" His voice cracked, but he forced it steady. "Paul Getty III?" The voice on the other end was cold, unfamiliar. "Yes, who is this?" Paul's heart raced. The voice sounded threatening. "We have you now," the voice said, "and we know your grandfather is worth billions. We're asking for 70 million for your release." Paul felt his stomach drop. The sum was astronomical, even for someone like his grandfather. "You'll get the money," Paul said, his mind racing. "Just don't hurt me." There was a pause, then the voice responded with chilling calm. "We'll see about that." The line went dead. Back in the United States, the Getty family was in a frenzy. The news spread quickly. Paul Getty III had been kidnapped. But what they didn't know was that the kidnappers weren't asking for $17 million. They wanted far more. As the ransom demands came in, a twist of fate emerged. Paul's grandfather, J. Paul Getty, a notorious miser, refused to pay. He believed it was a matter of principle. Instead, he sent a chilling message to the kidnappers. "I won't pay a single penny. I have plenty of grandkids. I'll replace him." Paul's mother, Gail Harris, was devastated. She pleaded with the family patriarch, but J. Paul Getty remained unmoved. His fortune was everything, and his reputation as a hard-nosed businessman was at stake. In the kidnappers' hideout, Paul was beginning to lose hope. The days turned into weeks, and he was left alone in the dark room for hours on end. His mind played tricks on him. His eyes would play tricks too, as shadows twisted into faces, and distant sounds took on menacing tones. One day, a voice broke through the silence. "You're not forgotten." It was Marco. Paul could barely move, but he stood tall, defiant. "You'll never get away with this," he spat, trying to summon the courage to make a stand. Marco didn't respond, but his laughter echoed in Paul's mind, a cold reminder that he had no power here. As weeks dragged on, the kidnappers grew more desperate. They had no idea that the police, along with a group of private investigators hired by Gail Harris, were closing in on their hideout. In a moment of pure coincidence, Marco's group made a fatal mistake. They underestimated the involvement of Paul's extended family, who had quietly been tracking every lead. One evening, the sound of sirens filled the air, and a team of elite officers stormed the building. A tense standoff ensued, but Marco, realizing they were about to be caught, ordered his men to flee. As the last of the kidnappers were arrested, Paul was found in a bloodied and frail state, but alive. His mind, once sharp, now clouded by the trauma, took time to fully grasp his newfound freedom. The Getty family was shaken, though they had not expected to be drawn closer together by the kidnapping. The ordeal left scars on all of them, especially Paul. The emotional weight of his grandfather's indifference still haunted him. It was a betrayal that cut deeper than anything he had experienced before. But his mother, Gail, never left his side. She helped him through the rehabilitation process, both physically and emotionally. The bond between them grew stronger as they faced the psychological fallout together. J. Paul Getty, ever the billionaire businessman, never publicly acknowledged the emotional toll it had taken on his family. But the press couldn't ignore the crack in the foundation of the Getty Empire. Years later, Paul Getty III would speak publicly about the kidnapping, revealing that the emotional scars never fully healed. In a chilling reflection, he mentioned the true motive behind his captors' actions. They had known that the Getty name would be worth more than money. They had been playing a long game, hoping to tear apart the dynasty, but Paul had learned something crucial. Sometimes the true price of wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in family, trust, and human connection. Like and subscribe for more. This story of the billion-dollar ransom, the betrayal, and the emotional journey was only the beginning of Paul Getty III's life. But one thing remains certain. The world could be ruthless, and in the end, no amount of money could fix the broken pieces of a heart that had been scarred by abandonment. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you pay a ransom for someone you loved, or would you make the same choice as J. Paul Getty?